we're just getting excited to get going for season. We've had a lot of preparation. This team has been very, just excited to get coached hard, excited to kind of get pressed and feel uncomfortable. I really commend that ability to kind of just take us in, So I think we're going to surprise some people. I like where they think we're going to be, and we'll talk at the end of the year of where we end up being. But we're going to play hard. We're going to play gritty. We're going to punch some people in the mouth. That's just kind of the kind of game that we will play. So we will have some edge to us. But I've enjoyed it. I've really enjoyed being with them. I feel like we're starting to click, both me as a coach with the players, and they kind of understand who I am and how I work. But them as players, I feel like they're playing a little bit more free this week. You can kind of feel the excitement. You can taste the excitement actually in the air. So we're just excited. We have a really tough pre-conference, schedule, which that's good for us, right? It's just preparing us for conference play. But we're on the road quite a bit. Obviously hosting the first weekend, but I don't know. I'm kind of anxious, to be honest with you, like just to get on the field. I want to get out there and play and let them kind of play our brand of softball.
So how are you going to use your pitchers? You're going to do like a starter for game 1, starter for game 2, starter for game 3, or do you vary that by your talent, or how's that shaped?
Yeah, I think we're going to be a staff. I think we're going to pitch by committee. I think we're also going to go some matchups. The luxury of having 5 pitchers and very diverse in their repertoire, we're going to be able to use them in different situations. So, Grace can also hit as well, so we can have some flexibility with that. But I think we're going to see how, as the season goes, you might see some people emerge in certain roles. But right now we're going to start and kind of spread some things out.
So right now, if you did a lineup card, how many positions do you have pretty much say this person's locked at second, this person's locked at right, and who would those people be?
Yeah, we don't have a lot of depth in the infield, to be honest with you. So that's pretty set. Rylan has the ability to play shortstop. Coco can also play second base. Coco can also play center field. I feel like those two are going to be on the field regardless. So they just have to stay healthy, Trin is the same way. Her bat is... I'm expecting some big things out of Trinity this year in the box. And so I think she's really done a great job of taking some leadership roles. We've moved over to first base. She's had no issues with it. She's really embraced it. And that just says a lot about kind of, what Coach Joe did here, Evans, and then obviously who these people are, our players are, them on and off the field. But I think that those 3 for sure are going to be in the lineup every day, yes. Julia Cottrell is a pretty dynamic player. We were super excited to be able to get her and able to get her to play right away. She just finds the ball. I've known Julia for a long time, so I coached her when I feel like she was like 2, but she was with the Junior USA team. I think she was a junior in high school, sophomore. Yeah, I told you she was a baby. So, I've known her since then. She has really good insides. She's competitive. Those type of kids work really well in my system, like really super competitive. And she will play anywhere on the field. If I asked her to, if I told her that she needs to go play center field, she'd go play center field. So Julia's going to see a lot of time. Obviously, a lot of games and one catcher behind the plate. She'll get some rest. She'll probably still hit for us because you don't want to take that bat out of the lineup. And I think the other thing that you'll find this a unique characteristic, but Julia's got speed. And so you'll see her, we'll put her in some motion, put her in motion. So. Besides that, I feel like, there's a lot of creativity going on.
Coach, you said you're going to surprise some people this year. What are kind of your expectations for year 1?
I'm not an expectation person, to be honest with you. I am a focused in the moment, like, how are we getting this done right now? Like, I'm a big believer of being where your feet are. And so, and they're starting to kind of understand that as well. So when we sat down as a group and did our goal chart, it was really about, like, where are we going to do right now? What are we going to do today? So I don't really, my expectation is for us to look different, to be honest with you, for us to play the game differently, to have an edge, to take the field with, I don't know, just a different feel to Aggie softball. And I think that you're going to see that. Where we end up is where we end up, and it's going to really be a result of how we execute our game plan. And so I think we have a good game plan. I think that they have bought into the game plan and into the process. And so I love, like I said, I love being the underdog. I love, everybody's going to get knocked down. We're going to have times throughout the year that things don't go our way, but how do we respond to that? And that's a life lesson, and we talk about that. Like, okay, you had a bad day today. It's like, so what? The sun comes up tomorrow. Like, how are you going to react? How are you going to fight? How are you going to keep going? And that's really life, right? You have those trials and tribulations of life.
Coach, a lot of names that we've seen around here for the last 3 years, a lot of them started as freshmen, Trinity, and Ryland's sitting over here. So it's not like you have a non-experienced ball club. I mean, how does that pay dividends for you in year one?
Yeah, it's been a really good mix, to be honest with you, because we did bring in so many new faces, and Trin, Ryland, we've had, Coco, she's been great. What Texas A&M, I think, does a really good job is brings kids in with high character, and Aggies take care of Aggies. And I think that runs true from top to bottom of their body. And so, like, when I came in, they were very inclusive. Like, Coach, how can we help you? How can we help with this transition? And they've been the same way with the newcomers. And I think, it takes a little while because it's like half new, half, returners. But, like, after the fall had ended and then when we came back in January, you could kind of see, like, things are clicking. Like, they're starting to understand it. They're starting to, like, understand. The biggest thing is on the field, like, knowing, okay, I'm playing here. We're in this type of shift. Who has this area, this space on the field? Who can get there? Who can not get there? And so they're starting to really be able to understand, it's kind of like the puzzle piece, the dance that happens on the field.
What about power-wise, running-wise? What's the offense going to look like?
Fun. Yeah. We get into the box with really, we have high intent, and that's kind of why we have all the gadgets or the technology is every day they're competing in there. They're competing, and when you're practicing at that level, then obviously in games you have a little bit of extra juice, right? You have adrenaline, but then you're just continuing to get better, right? So then you bring that adrenaline and you bring it into the cages, and then you're working harder, your intent, I shouldn't say harder, but your intent is elevated. And so I think, we're going to drive the ball. That's our intent, off the wall, over the wall. You'll hear Coach Harger say that quite a bit. But we're going to use the short game. We have some speed. We have some options there. Star Ferguson has some speed. Coco is pretty dynamic on the bases. And then we have some that are, I would say, savvy base runner. So Julia's a savvy base runner. Ryland's a savvy base runner. Trinity is going to hit doubles and home runs, and we're going to leave it at that. That was me, Trin. I got to second base, and I was like, okay, where's my runner? So, everybody has their role, and that's what makes us great, right? And so we can't have a team full of, punch and Judies, and we can't have a team full of, strike them out or home runs, So I think you're going to see us put people in motion a little bit, It'll be a little bit, a little interesting, but we're going to have some pizzazz in that box.
Coach, how important is this weekend being able to play at home and kind of get your bearings, get up to playing at full game speed ahead of next weekend in Clearwater?
Yeah, I think it's crucial, honestly, and we're going to get tested. Obviously Michigan State has a new coach, Sharonda. Coach Show is, she's an Aggie. She's going to have them ready. They have a very dynamic staff as well, and I don't know. I think it's going to be good for us to get the cobwebs off. You can feel and hear them. They're a little nervous, and that's good because I'm like, that means it matters to you, right? And so they're excited, they're nervous, they're all those things. And so being able to work on their breathing, we've talked to them a lot this past week about waking up and moving slower, right? Eating slower, because when we get excited, we're anticipating, our first games, things kind of get rushed. So pitching wise, hitting wise, fielding wise. So really taking breaths, being aware of your breaths, visualizing, and then moving a little bit slower.
So what do you see or anticipate the difference of being in the Pac-12 versus the SEC?
You know what? I don't know yet. I'm anxious to see what I think I'm going to see. So, I think it's high caliber ball, in both conferences. Obviously, we have a little bit more. I think we have one more weekend of conference play. The Pac-12 is going to a conference tournament this year, but it'll be the first time that I experience a conference tournament. But I don't know. I feel like the game is the game, and so we'll see. We'll see.
In a perfect world, like I said, you're playing one tournament at home this year. Moving forward, when you kind of do the scheduling, how many do you want on the road tournaments to get ready for and stay at home?
Yeah, we'll probably be more balanced. So 2 and 2. So 2 here and 2 on the road. Because I do think winning on the road is critical for us to be successful, in postseason. So that'll be something that we will continue to do.
And how it's been now that you got this year's team together, but now that you're here, you're at Aggieland, recruiting moving forward, the 7th and 8th graders out there, how have you been received? How's that going?
Yeah, it's been good. We hit Texas a little bit at ASU as well, so we had some really good relationships, but it's going well. We've had, obviously we can't comment on that, but we've had quite a few, kids, especially from the state of Texas, that are going to become Aggies, and I think that'll be great. But we're kind of the junior and senior class are the two that obviously we've been able to recruit because of their ages, but we've been able to identify some really talented 26s in the state of Texas that you'll see me at some high school games throughout the season and those types of things. We had a great camp. So we had a camp over MLK weekend that had some phenomenal arms, to be honest with you, here. And so that was really fun to be able to spend some time with them and get to know them. So